Alright, so I'm going to be posting this before my videos, guys, and you can partake in it or not, but we're going to do some singing bowls and I'm going to say a little prayer. And you're welcome to just sit and relax and free your mind up before the reading with me. I just wanted to do this. I'll timestamp it, so if you want to go straight to your reading, that's fine too. So we're going to go ahead and start. Take a deep breath. I call upon light in all beings, whom serve only love and light. I ask you, angels, ancestors, and light beings, to cleanse and protect this space. Ask for your protection and guidance so that your divine sight can be delivered with love and healing for the greatest good. I ask you, angels, ancestors, and guides, to assist those whom these messages are meant for, to assist them on their journey of healing and spiritual growth. I appreciate your unconditional love and guidance. Thank you, angels, guides, ancestors, and Lord of Love. Amen. Okay, guys, so singing bowls. I'm just going to relax and listen. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and if so, I'm glad, and I'm happy you guys come to my channel and enjoy your reading. Hi, guys. We're getting ready to do some fire signs today. So, this is the space between spaces that we're using, you guys. And we're going to start with Sagittarius today, and then we're going to go to Leo, and then Aries. Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. So Sagittarius, we're getting a couple soul cards for you guys. Okay. And with this card, I'm feeling kind of a, like, taming. A taming. This is some, feels like some inner stuff. There's like a little dragon in this first one. And then let's see what's this one. I feel like you're trying to calm right now, Sagittarius, some inner stuff going on. And I feel like this could be ancestral stuff too. It feels like root, like primordial stuff, like back when we were caveman, that kind of thing, trying to like change like certain like instincts, like primordial instincts you have and stuff like that. Because this dragon is coming through as like the primordial part, and he's just kind of he's kind of rising above that. And then there's this other card that has all these faces on it, and this feels like it feels like a lot of different I'm getting that ancestor vibe, because this middle one, she's holding this plant or root type thing, and it's rooting from way down in her sacral chakra, which is, I feel, you could be feeling very right now, feeling very connected to your like human instinct, like kind of pushing away like primordial things, like animalistic things, and feeling very like in touch with like the human side, if that makes sense, instead of like the animalistic side. That's what's coming through right now. Let's see, let's get one of these lantern oracles. Oh, forgiveness. Hurt blocks her light. Hurt blocks our light. There's like these arms. They look like old, ancient, skeletal arms. So that's maybe this ancestor energy I'm getting, or this old, and it could be very like, how do I put this? Like an untamed energy, maybe within yourself. But it seems like it's coming from a deep-seated, maybe hurt place. This doesn't necessarily mean this lifetime. It can, but I am getting that, like trying to be understanding and forgiving now with this card coming out, in kind of the stuff that comes up, the kind of the feelings that come up that are especially related to anger, aggression, animal instinct, and emotional, because this lizard is blue, even though he looks very vicious. Maybe these are like maybe even aggressive old issues, like emotional instincts. That's what I'm trying to say. Aggressive emotional instincts. Maybe coming from a time when this could go back. This is feeling like ancestral, but it could be just within this life too, where there's these wounds that just hurt and they make you feel angry and aggressive, and you're trying to nurture the light and try to grow something positive out of it, even though you got all this, you got a lot going on here in the mind space. It could be, you know, hearing tons of different things with what you should, how you should react, how you should be, whatever. Let's go ahead and get a couple of these. Time. Time. And release on the bottom. It's time to release some old pain. Whether this is your pain to carry or ancestral trauma or pain you're carrying, it's time to release that now, Sagittarius. There is an emotional kind of reckoning happening right now for you, or trying to, with old emotional beasts is what I'm feeling like. Let's get a word for this. Fecundity. Dreams, like seeds, require fertile soil which to grow. The ability to produce a plethora of new ideas, growth, or offspring. This could have to do with raising children, maybe being a parent or a child, and needing the kind of cleansed light foundation. This could come from, like, I know, like, raising my kids, I was triggered with a lot of things I needed to heal within my family roots and my family ancestry, to be a better person and a better parent. So that is kind of what I'm getting here with the it's new growth, it's new offspring, it's new, it's taking something that was kind of old, transmuting it. And I also get that too with this lizard. Okay, so like the lizard brain to me is like the old, like primordial, like, oh, it's night, I go to sleep. Oh, it's day, I wake up. Oh, food, eat. You know, it's like just like kind of like really just survival brain, survival. And this is like going beyond survival. And this is actually trying to make something new. And this is like where, like, when we came into the ages of like planting and farming and stuff like that, this is energy I'm getting. It was like, how can we make this better for our village? Let's plant these things, that way we don't have to go out and find them. It's really creatively kind of going outside the normal primordial function or programming, and trying to kind of go into the more like I said in the beginning, kind of a more human energy, a more innovative, creative energy. That's what I'm getting. And then we got trust. Don't judge a book by its cover. Confidence or faith, belief in security, sureness of certainty. If you're wondering if you are nurturing something correctly, or you are transmuting something, changing something, it does look like you've been working on building a more nurturing foundation for yourself. Like I said, this could have to do with, and then vigilance, staying with it. Who watches the watchers? Surveillance for danger, attention to surroundings, caution, and heed. That's interesting. Because I feel like that's a lot of this ancestral stuff like that I was just talking about. It's like back in the day, they had to always be aware of predators and stuff, and we still are. It's just in a different way. We're evolving into a different, you know, as the predators evolve, so must the people that are protecting themselves and their families and their stuff too. Like now, it's like internet and stuff like that. So don't judge a book by its cover. Confidence or faith, belief in security, sureness or certainty. There's a confidence here of you nurturing your roots, nurturing and taking care of some seeds that you wanted to grow, maybe for your children, for yourself, maybe for a foundation to have a family, so you can be, and this doesn't necessarily have to be family, but I am getting like that ancestral vibe. So this could just be laying a new foundation for yourself. Like if, say, in the family, nobody ever like held a job for like more than a year or whatever, graduated college, or, you know, had kids or whatever that is, it's something being healed here. And it's also letting you know while you're in this kind of, I'd say it's like a higher minded state, because it goes beyond the primordial instinct. You're like, no, that's just primordial. That's just me and my animal instincts, or me and my protection, or whatever this is. It's saying there is a feeling of being watched and surrounded by protection. And this could be ancestral protection, because you could be dealing with some like really old emotional, like primordial, like fiery but emotional wounds. So maybe it was emotions that turned into a like anger. Like that's what's the best way to describe that kind of blue lizard with the fiery look, but it's water. It's like emotions, but it's fire. So that makes a lot of sense there. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get one of these. You have to nurture those like kind of emotional like upsets or angers or disappointments in order to, and right now I feel like you are trusting and knowing that there's stuff growing kind of under the surface and healing under the surface about this kind of emotional anger, if that makes sense. Contemplation. This is like going within. This is kind of hermit energy here. I'm going to read that, you guys. Let's go ahead and read this. Contemplation. The card of contemplation advises a retreat from social life or spiritual seeking. It symbolizes a withdrawal from the outer world for the purpose of activating the unconscious mind. And that's very much so what I feel like this is portraying in this card. It's activating the unconscious mind, and this could be some really unconscious stuff coming up that affects the way you feel and how you express your emotions, possibly. Not just that either. It's not even about expressing the emotions. It's how you, like, what they grow, like what those turn into, the evolution of those emotions, how they evolve. Whether it's into like anger, or it's into trust, or it's into paranoia, or it's into, that's more what I'm getting. It's like our emotions cause us to behave certain ways and see things certain ways, when we can go in and really tap in and go, I can change the way that makes me see things. It's just automatic. Like there's an automatic feeling here of feeling a certain way and then doing a certain thing just from like an initial glance, like, oh, that's danger, so I don't trust it. So having confidence and faith and belief in security, sureness, or certainty. In solitude, we are able to find calm by tuning out the noise of the mind with meditation. Each one of us has to find our peace from within. A stage in life is approaching where wisdom is sought through introspection. There could be some stuff coming up around you right now, Sagittarius, that you just don't trust, or it's making you feel primordial, protective, instinctual. And I feel like Spirit's coming in and saying, let's go within right now, because it's something seated deep from ancestral stuff. Could just be like old caveman type mentality stuff. And it is about being mindful of those around you too. But that almost feels like it's like you can stop looking around you, like kind of going into this state of contemplation and shutting your eyes and not being so wrapped up in things going on around you, and like paying attention to everything around you and making your judgments on it, or having fears or emotional triggers about it, to go within, and you'll be being watched and protected during this time. That this is some work that needs maybe to happen if this resonates with you. It says, this phase of existence often comes after we have been shut off from the spiritual world and confined to our outer world. So you may have been doing a lot of outer world stuff, what I call earthy stuff, and not like the spiritual stuff, the inner work. This happens so that everything may be built up and illuminated again from within. So it's almost like you've been really in the mix of stuff going on around you, and it's made you into that. Like I said, it's like we live like this society is like an animal society. It's like we are all like doing the same things, and we're all like watching for the same, it's like that primordial brain takes over, and it's just we become part of the herd. And this is like pulling yourself out of that so that you can really come out seeing things differently. And you could have kind of gotten in a mode, like an animal mode, like a primordial mode. And Spirit's coming in saying, now you're going to go within and do some looking in there and trusting that everything you've seen, by going through the things you've observed while you were out of spiritual mode and you were in earth mode. You can definitely gain some knowing about the security of that, or the lack of security. So it's kind of going within and deciding, is that something that was like instinctual, primordial, or is that something I'm actually observing, and is an actual threat, or an actual, is this a foundation I actually can grow in? Is this a place I can actually be secure in? Is this is this danger, or is this good? It's kind of that energy I'm getting with your guys' reading, is deciding, like contemplating what, after kind of being in the world or of the world, I'd say in the world, not of the world, because it's like we are beings of the earth, but you don't have to be in it, like it's you can be present here, but you don't have to become it. It's kind of like you might have become it for a minute. The hustle and bustle of the tribe, the herd, the society, stuff like that, and now you may be feeling kind of pulled back out of that to do some more inner inner work, inner growth, and shine some light on some maybe root triggers that triggered you while you were out of this state of contemplating. It's like you weren't contemplating, you were just doing, and now it feels like you could be energetically getting pulled back into a place of contemplation, inner reflection, learning some more about your trust in yourself and your perception. So how do I judge that, and why do I deem it to be harmful, or why do I deem it to be, and is it really, or is that something seated deep down from a foundation that was unstable, or just it's not what is befitting to your life or societies today, something like that. It's like things evolve, things change, and we can't stay in the same stuck old ways. This card symbolizes, this happens so that everything may be built up and illuminated again from within, past, present, and future. All accompany the solitary person who walks the path that leads to the higher self. And that's what I'm feeling like you're trying to now kind of rise above the lower self. And it doesn't mean you're lower, but that's just the best words I have for it. It's like your lower self is like your earthy self. Like when we get wrapped up in like the earth stuff and our earth goals, and we kind of put our spiritual growth and our higher self on the back burner. Like, you know, you might fall into a group or a clique or a dynamic here on earth that benefits you in the earthly, but maybe hasn't benefited you spiritually, or maybe it does neither. Maybe it doesn't neither benefit nor hurt you, but it's maybe a distraction from doing more inner work. This card suggests that a cycle of expansion is slowing, allowing time for reevaluation. Yeah, so it's like something, it's like you went out of the inner stuff, the spiritual stuff, the deep stuff, to the outer earth stuff, to expand in your life, which we do all the time. To get raises, we do less of this kind of stuff, and we do more of the earth stuff, the work. We're more focused on, and our focus changes all the time, you guys, because it needs to, because we live in a very dynamic inner and outer worlds. We have a lot to do inside, and we have a lot to do outside, and that balance is really, really hard to find sometimes. But it seems like you've already expanded something in your life, and something has grown, and now you might be slowing down, and it may feel like things ain't rolling, like in your earth stuff. Like work may seem like, okay, you know, I got that raise, or I made that home, or I did that job, or I did that, and it's outside yourself. And now it's like, okay, now all that's kind of like slowed down or stopped, and there's no more expansion really right now in it, because you're going to go within and now observe how that expansion happened, how that makes you feel, and if it's right for you. So it's like, it kind of gives me that Seven of Pentacles energy, where you're reevaluating what you've been putting your energy into, what's grown and expanded in your life. How does it make you feel? Do you trust it? Do you trust the foundation? Do you is there still some things you need to be mindful of or aware of as you move forward? It's kind of just an inner, a lot of inner thinking I'm feeling right now. Everything we expose, it says this card suggests that the cycle of expansion is slowing, allowing time for reevaluation and soul searching. Everything we expose to the light becomes visible. So there could have been even some shadow stuff that came out while you were kind of outside of the higher self, or I don't know how to word this any better, but like doing the earth stuff, that now you're kind of going back within and kind of reevaluating like what that stuff was that kind of came out, or and it feels like a lot with this lizard dragon, like it just come out kind of, you know, and then it's like, whoa, now it's time to go back in and think about like where this dragon came from, or where this emotion came from, or where this lack of trust, or this, it feels like a paranoia almost, because it's like surveillance for danger, attention to surroundings, caution and heed. But then there's just like this, there's all these heads on this head that are watching. So it's like, who watches the watchers? You know, maybe you were watching a lot, you were observing a lot, and it's just very interesting energy I'm getting. This card symbolizes the individual as an eternal seeker on a path of improvement. It is a connecting link between outer experience and interior illumination. So taking all those outer things that you've experienced while you've kind of been out of inner mode, and taking them in with you and looking at them, shining some light on them, and figuring out how to better understand and maybe better trust and maybe observe and lay a more abundant and fertile foundation within for when you come back out. This is a constant thing, like hermit mode. It's kind of just something we do a lot when we see things just either are or aren't adding up in our lives. It's like, well, okay, now I'm kind of like once you hit a goal, like at work, it's like, okay, no, I think I'm going to work on this for a while. And then it's like you go within and you're like, oh, I was focusing a lot on this, but I didn't have like a lot of time for this. And you'd start to feel like the struggles either way. So if you're doing a lot of like inner work, you're going to feel the struggles outside. Like when you go to like work, like earth work, you're going to feel it both ways. Or if you're putting all your energy into or like earth work, that's why it's nice when we can integrate the two and make our earth work our inner work also. And that's where, you know I've been working on. It's like, how can I make this more pleasurable? In what's my purpose in this? And it's like all I can do is just like add a word of inspiration or a smile or a have a nice day, or just try to be positive. I found myself after doing a lot of earth work kind of getting in a negative, like, I hate this, like, but it's then you go back in and you're like, wait a minute, so what's making me feel that way, and what am I observing that I don't like about that, or I don't think I can grow there? Or this is like a reevaluation of your environment after going out and kind of looking at it. It's kind of like coming out of the house, checking out the neighborhood after you've already bought the house, and then going, I don't know if I like this neighborhood, or coming out and going, wow, this was a good deal, like, that kind of energy. So let's go ahead and read this forgiveness, because this forgiveness is kind of, you may know what this is about, but hurt blocks our light. Something could hurt that you had observed or experienced when you were really diving into like the earth energy, and maybe it set off some triggers and some lack of trust and some it's just very interesting, like made you more like watchy, like more like, I want to say like paranoid or animalistic, primordial, and Spirit's asking you to go within and find your highest self again and realize that that's your foundation for all that you trust, all that you feel, all that you are. The only forgiveness that we can receive is that which we experience for ourselves. In essence, to forgive another, life, or the world is as irrelevant as being forgiven by another. Oh, that is profound. Nobody can give you forgiveness, and you can't give anybody forgiveness. They have to give it to themselves, because the true feeling of not feeling forgiven is the feeling of yourself failing yourself, and that is a profound statement. If we have not forgiven ourselves, we can neither receive forgiveness nor have it to give. Forgiveness is a word that often evokes in us a sense of defensiveness and anger. Why should we be the ones to forgive when we were the ones wronged? When exploring the concept of forgiveness, the key lies in the word wrong, and not in the doing or the doer of the wrong. Every happening is neutral in and of itself, and as indifferent as nature. It is us who bring such notions of wrong, right, good, and bad to stimuli. For the wrong not to continue to be a reality that lives harmfully in our mind, body, and emotions, the physical effects of it need to be thoroughly released. Of the idea of the feeling that wrong brings to us needs to be released. And there was release on the bottom of that, and there's this time card. So you may be needing to take this time out for yourself to do some inner forgiveness and some inner, shine some light on some inner things that will help you release and forgive possibly yourself, and therefore be able to see others differently also. Maybe not as such threats, or maybe you can trust and have faith in your surroundings more when you have more trust and faith in yourself. And it lays a much more fertile foundation for new things, new, more enlightened things to come into your life, and not like old primordial behaviors and stuff like that. This is why the only forgiveness that matters is ours. We deactivate the negativity within and change what we are energetically matched to in our external reality. Releasing the unforgiveness frees us into a high vibrancy and creates a shift in our possibilities. The compulsion to unconsciously repeat unforgiven wounds ceases. This is why to forgive is all about ourselves and not about anyone or anything else. Oh, that is profound. To be clear, this does not mean that we forget or deny another's or our own past actions. Instead, we release the negative charge and remembering from our body, emotions, and psyche. So it's that charge, it's that reaction. It's that primordial reaction to anger or to fear or to pain that you may be going in and contemplating right now. That's really nice. All right, Sagittarius, let's go ahead and pull a couple tarot cards. I am using the Ashley Cook deck, you guys. I'm trying to keep these between 20 and 30 minutes. Judgment. You have to make the call right now, Sagittarius, to, and the Ace of Wands. Wow, this is like spiritual new beginning, passionate, spiritual, creative new beginning. In the Six of Cups. Getting back to a more innocent state of mind, a more pleasant, innocent place. Remembering what it felt like, the small, simple things that make you happy. Happy as a child under a lilac bush, or happy as a child playing in the mud. You're being called to go back to a place of more innocence within yourself, which means forgiving yourself and others, and looking at things with less surveillance for danger, or looking at things as less threatening. You know, this man isn't even looking at this very threatening emotion, or this threatening, like, dragony emotion, so that new things can grow, and it's better for new stuff. You know, it's creating a new dynamic. Instead of this dragon being red, it's now blue. You know, that's coming through now. It's another message, but it's like this dragon may have originally been like a red fiery dragon, but now it's blue. It's calmer, it's more emotional and less angry. Yeah, so it's definitely like shining light on those roots of like those feelings, especially around trust, because that is the card that's under that card. Trust, confidence or faith, belief in a security. So if you're lacking that right now, it's probably something within that you need to heal still, or forgive, or find some peace with. And that is your reading, Sagittarius. So I hope you guys enjoyed your reading. As always, I appreciate you guys coming, watching your videos, your likes, your subscribes. If you're new here, welcome, thank you. But I will talk to you guys later, and I hope you have a good day.